Well, good morning, everybody. It's, let's see, Thursday, March 25th. It's the very early stages of spring. I thought I'd give you an update on what's going on here. And I'll turn the camera around so that you don't have to look at me all the time. So, let me do that. Here we are. My poor beat up truck. It still works fine. As I said in a previous video, not going to, well, I'm not going to be in a hurry to replace that bumper. I'm just going to paint it up so it, I don't know, looks interesting. The snow is going away. There's my Starlink satellite hookup on its temporary stand, and it's working very well for me. Now, I do preface it with for me in the sense that I'm not getting the same speeds as a lot of other people, but I anticipated that because of my more restrictive location. Most people have a much clearer view of the sky than I do. But it's still working quite well. Especially on my stand here. So you'll see that I've got the trailer here, and the trailer's in the way, and there's a tree here, and there's trees there, and the Starlink app that is on my cell phone, the cell phone that I'm using for this recording, it does a really good job of indicating where the obstructions are, and obviously it's pointing out the trailer and the tree. And I'll eliminate those obstructions once I'm going to build a tower here and get it at least above the trailer and maybe 20-30 feet up is where I'll eventually put the satellite dish, and that'll get above most of the obstructions, which will be fine. And that will improve the performance, but even so, right where it is, it's working just fine. On the Starlink app, it's showing roughly about 20 minutes every 12 hours the satellite is obstructed in some fashion. I'm not complaining about that. And that's not 20 minutes continuous, obviously. It's just a few seconds here and there. And for the most part, I don't even notice. Excuse me. I don't even notice because if I'm playing music, online music, or if I'm watching a YouTube video or something like that, those buffer on my computer, and the signal drop doesn't last long enough, for the most part, to exceed the buffer length. So there's really virtually no interruption at all in any of the media that I play. So it's working really well. I'm quite happy with it. It's certainly very clearly doing precisely what they promised. And I think that's a key element in anybody else that might want to adopt a Starlink. Certainly in the beta program, as long as it lasts, they're not exceeding their promises with all sorts of elaborate excuses for why it might not be working as well as it will. It's working better than any other service that I have available in the area. Okay, so enough of that. And the truck and as you'll see, if you hear in the background, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's a deep gully here on the edge of my property. Actually, this is part of my property, but there's a big culvert there and it goes across. And if you can hear, back there is a waterfall, and with the spring rush like it is, it's quite noticeable. But you can see a lot of the snow is gone. The only real drawback to that is then this is the ugly stage of spring, where all the debris from the winter activity starts to show up. Now, on to more positive things. My sawmill is here. I'm looking forward to setting this up. I've had to wait for the snow to go away before I had a site to put it, but it's getting close. And it's going to be up the hill back there. I showed that to you on a previous video where that's going to be. So, more of the ugly stuff. This is from chopping up dead wood throughout the winter as I stayed warm. There's my cement mixer, which I have to fix. I think there's a shear pin or something on that end of the gear for running it, and it's broken, so it's spinning and not turning the drum. So I'll have to take that apart and get it fixed, because I'll need that machine at some point, primarily to pour pads for the mill. Actually, I'm not going to use it for the house, but for the mill I'll need it, and for any sheds or anything like that I might want to use it for. The past couple of weeks I've been concentrating on finishing clearing out the trees that I designated needed to go for the house site. You'll see this oak here. It was rotting at the base, so I wanted to get that down. And I wanted to get it down before the spring really took hold and the tree started sucking up moisture and stuff. Now that tree was semi-alive still, but I wanted to get it out of the way. It's hung up, and I knew it was going to be hung up, and it's not a big deal. I'll use my backhoe to push it over and get it the rest of the way down, but it's in a safe spot where it is. The one tree that I definitely wanted to get out of the way, is this really big oak here. Parts of it shattered as it came down, which was fine by me. That'll be firewood, but there's a great big log here that I'm going to be able to... Oh, there's a squirrel. Now, this one, why did I want to take this one down? Well, it had a really severe lean to it, and that lean was headed straight for my house. This is where the house is going to be, and if that had dropped on the house, it would have squashed it like a bug, because it's a big, big tree. This is like 30 feet from the base, and it's still 24 inches across on the main trunk. And down at the end there, that's the base of the tree there. It's 3 feet across. And it's a nice, this part at least, is a nice solid piece of wood. And I'll cut that into lengths and mill it up. There should be some interesting and usable wood out of that. You know, not construction wood, but, you know, furniture wood or whatever. I'll figure something out for it. I had some good-sized hemlocks here that needed to come out. But all of these trees here, this is the house site itself, they're obviously in the way. I had cut them down during the winter time, and I left those parts there with the branches on just because I didn't want to trudge through 3 or 4 feet of snow to limb it up. I'll get to that once the snow completely goes away. But now, excuse me, now it's a matter of cleaning it all up, getting the backhoe in here, and starting pulling these stumps out. The way I've got it, the house oriented, I don't have to pull out too many stumps, and hopefully they aren't a big chore. The soil isn't all that deep here, so these roots are spread out. They're not going too deep. There's shield rock. You know, some spots here it's, you know, an inch or two down in the forest trash. In other spots it may be, you know, 6 or 7 inches deep. I'll find out with the backhoe how deep it goes. Then this goes uphill, and the mill is going to be up there. So there's the road here, and then all this drains on either side of the road, and that drains down past where that oak was. And that's another reason why I wanted to get that one out of there. There's quite a depression in there that holds water quite a lot for all summer, really. It did last summer at least. And that tree is right on the edge of it, and that ground there is all quite moist. So the possibility of that thing falling over was getting greater and greater. And the tree itself wasn't in all that great a shape. The branches were all busted up, and a lot of them were dead. Now on this side, on my house side, I'm going to want to clean this up and get the drainage to really deliberately go downhill that way. And I think I'll probably put a bunch of gravel in there to make it nice and loose for the water. Then this is the south end of the property, and then I have my one nice lovely big oak tree that is at the south end of the house, far enough away from the house to not be a danger. And then on the north side there's another nice big oak that I'm going to keep there, and they're both healthy so far. But on the south end here, it goes down to the creek, and evidenced in the winter time so far, at least this winter, the creek doesn't freeze solid. So there's running water underneath a layer of ice that flows all winter, which is a good thing, because what I think I'm going to be doing is right down here is going to be my septic system, and then it slopes down to the creek. And then what I want to do is put in a deep hole here with a big piece of culvert in it, I hope, and that'll be my well water. That's not that far. It's maybe 200 feet to the house. I don't think it's that far, but let's say 200 feet. And putting in a surface well there, and pumping it up to the house. That rise here is maybe 20 feet, so I'm pumping up 20 feet, which is going to be a hell of a lot easier than pumping up from a well that has to be drilled down to like 450 feet that I can't afford to do. So this should be cheaper, and it'll be good water. All the water around here has to be filtered anyways, so I'm going to have a typical double sediment filter system with a UV lamp as well. Even with a drilled well, you have to do that around here, and particularly in my case because I do want to set up my bakery again. So I need that filter no matter what. And I need to preserve cash. Lumber prices have gone absolutely hysterical. So it's going to be interesting to see how much I can afford to do this year. I know I'm going to get the slab down. I'll get the septic system in. And the slab's going to include most of the plumbing. Most of the plumbing piping, and also a bunch of conduit for electricity. So the slab will be done this summer for sure. And then I can build the frame of the house in a less frantic manner than trying to get the slab done. And the mill is going to become even more essential. Not for dimensional lumber. I'm not going to be bothered trying to get my wood inspected. I really don't have wood on the property that is suitable for that. Hemlock, I've got lots of hemlock here, and it's going to be good for hopefully for cladding, both inside and outside. But as far as structural wood or dimensional lumber for building the walls and stuff, it's not suitable for that. And I'm not using hardwood for my 2x4s. So the 2x6s. So my walls, the framing of the walls is going to have to be purchased lumber, and I'm pretty sure I can afford that. But all the interior finish I can use my own lumber with, even the walls on the interior, because none of them are going to be supporting walls. So I don't need inspected lumber for that. And a bunch of the walls inside are going to be a bit different from convention anyways. I'll get to that when we get to it. So the main things that I'll have to buy from the store are the dimensional lumber for the walls and trusses for the roof. There's no way around those. But I should be able to afford that this year. Now I want to put a metal roof on. I just, I don't want to do the roof more than once. Certainly not my age. So a metal roof is going to be essential, and I might have to break that up into more than 1 year. So what I'm thinking in this case is, if I can't afford all the roof, hopefully I can afford half the roof. And what I'll do is I'll put metal on the north side, or at least that side of the roof, and the south side, south-ish side, is just going to be tar paper till the following year. That's my thinking right now. But I really haven't costed out the metal yet. And I'm not sure it's gone up as much as, or gone up at all, compared to lumber. So we'll see, and I'll keep you informed. There's my lovely tractor. I just changed the oil on it, so I'll fire that up soon and push that hung up tree down. That's enough talking for now. More later. Bye now.